Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this video session that I am about to record. And I really want to express my heartfelt love to each and every one of you who has been watching and who has been watching the Salvation series with Susanne that me and Benny were recording a while ago, and it was released, I believe, last week. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, and if you're interested in the biblical story, uh, in that video you will hear voices from Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, Joseph, Jesus' father, and Mary, uh, Mother Mary. So you will see, if you're interested in that story, you will see some interesting material there. So today I'm going to do a transpeak, and I believe it's going to be something for all of you. And for all of you new subscribers, you are most welcome, all of you, to come in with comments and to come with questions, and to reach out and let me know what you're thinking and believe in. I had a question. That's true. I had a question from one of you, the viewers. Uh, I'm going to read it for you. So hold on. I'm sorry. So the question was from the other video. The video from last week was the the theme was that you will feel inside if it is true for yourself, and to learn to feel and differentiate between what is fake and what is only a AI copy, or something that is repeating someone else, instead of finding the true uh, sense of it, the authenticity of what you feel. So that was the video last week, and I had a question from a viewer who asked, why does Source allow dark souls to come to Earth if we are a spark of the divine? We are made of its image, so why aren't we perfect? And that's a really interesting question. So I'm gonna ask my guides to talk about that. So um, I had another interesting comment there. If it were all love and light, how would we know the dark? We are God experiencing itself. Perhaps be a bit boring. Namaste. Yeah. So those two questions I'm now directing to my communicators to answer and talk about in the session. So we'll see what happened. That's going to be very interesting, and that just came to my mind. So uh, it's more, my communicators are more up to date than I am. So it's wonderful when it comes to that. Yeah, when they sort of just point out to me. Hmm? I love to do this, and I love all of you who's watching this, and I hope you're enjoying it and that you get some inspiration for yourself. And yeah, so anyone who's new, I am going to go into trance, and that's going to take between 6 and 10 minutes, I think. And excuse me. So, and if you think it's boring watching me go into trance, you can just fast forward until they start to speak. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the space, you can go into meditation together with me and feel the energy. And yeah, and for those of you who are interested and see the process of going into trance, you can just watch me. So yeah, if you have any comments or questions now, so just reach out and ask that. And if it is a question for the public to be answered, we love to do a transpeak about it. So yeah, and if you have more private questions or if you want to have more private assistance, you can just reach out and we schedule a private sitting for you. And they are happy to do that. So I just had my asthma medicine, so it's working. So excuse my coughing and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna have some more coffee. That helps the coffee. And yeah, enjoy. I see you on the other side. We have been waiting for this day as we knew about this question, and it was a very interesting question that came, and we would love to answer that. All humans on the earth plane are a part of the source energy. And they are a part of that divinity and that spark of divinity. And for the evolution and for the growth of the individuals, something needs to be mirroring or polarities, be the other side of the pole. And even though each and every one is made out of love and that divine spark, there are always two sides of the coin, and there will always be polarities. And the darker, if we call them the darker forces, they are as much love as the lighter forces. They are just expressing the divineness in the most different way. And they are all the humans that are expressing these darker forces. They are living their karma and they are fulfilling their purpose, that all the ones who are in the light. And there has always been a fight between the two of them, a struggle, and that has created tension. But the tension is also good way for anyone to grow from. It's a fight between what you call the good and bad and the right and wrong. And there is no good or bad, and there is no right or wrong. There are consequences to the way you are living, and there are consequences to the way you are thinking. And that can attract those more negative forces that expresses the darkness. And the darkness is nothing but the other side of the coin. And remember that of the darker ones, may not even be aware of that they are serving the darker forces. And sometimes it's needed for someone to enlighten them and ask them to choose another pathway if they want to. And remember that they are fulfilling a karmic purpose. And also, in the beginning, as God created the earth according to the Bible, Adam and Eve, they lived in the paradise, and they were living in harmony, and they were at peace with each other. That's what the story tells in the Bible. And there was one dark element in the story, and that was the snake. And they were warned from God not to eat from the tree of wisdom. And so Eve was curious, and she wanted to expand and grow. And she was curious about what would happen. And that brought her into the situation where she bites the apple. And as she became enlightened, she saw something different and she wanted to share that with Adam. So she gave him to eat. And there we were at the human expansion and growth. That is according to the Bible, and that is a very symbolic story, a fairy tale that is shared with humanity. It's proof of that there can be forces that serves the other sides than your side where you are at. And there is also telling the interesting thing about the thriving that people are in a human body. They are thriving to express and thriving to grow, thriving for information and wisdom. And that growth that takes place in that story is a very good example what is going on with humanity. You grow, you expand, you are interested, and sometimes there are very, very refined, if we call it the darker tricks and mimics. Today, you have on the earth plane something called AI, and the AI is something that learns from what is putting before them. So they develop that skills from a mirroring, and they are expanding upon what they learn from others. And it can never be a soul behind it because it doesn't have a soul. And if you are encountered with anyone who is sharing that or expressing that on a personal level or an expansion level, you learn to feel when it is a fake, a so-called created out of a mirroring or learned experience from a mirror in front of them. So you will learn to feel with inside when that happens in order for you to be able to choose what you would like to do. If, of course, if you choose to follow that way, you can do that. And that's going to give you some results, and that's going to give you consequence that you may not be aware of. And if you choose to walk your own pathway and grow from within your soul, you stay on your pathway and you turn away and you say no thank you to the others. And remember not to judge that. It's something that is there, and for you to follow your own decision and pathway. That's it. And remember that all this of polarities that are on the earth plane is also in the universe. There are natural laws that talks about so above, so below, and it is existing everywhere. And you need to have a balance between the two of them. If you get a overlay of the what we call the brighter side, too much of that, that's going to create the imbalance. And if you have too much of the darker forces of what is so-called the negative forces, that's going to be an imbalance of that. So the question is, where would you like to be? And there is always going to be some challenges and tests. So you will meet that. We are all the spark of God. We are all made of that. And remember, even those who are spreading wars, conflicts, horrors, they are still a part of that. And as long as they are the spark of God, and if they are coming from the outer spaces, from other planets, they are totally different individuals. They can still be incarnated as humans, but they still are creation in the universe. So remember that, not to judge it. It's a polarity. If you if you look at it that way, that's going to be a um, kick off for you to grow from that, to realize and to recognize what you don't want in your life. You choose your own pathway, and you choose where to go and what to follow, and that's simply how it is. And yes, it is created from God, all of it. And the human beings are created for to grow and to expand spiritually in the human body. It's spirits experiencing a human life, and that's expansion. And there is something that needs to stimulate that expansion, and a bit of tension from the polarity is a helpful tool to start to grow. And as a human being, you all have your karma to resolve and to move through. And all of you, let me say, most of you, have had lives of serving the more selfish way, of serving the personality's egos, and instead of serving all and serving the universal energies. So all, not all of you, but many of you have had that experience in the past, and that needs to be balanced. And you do that by following your heart and following a pathway that you choose today. And if that is of serving yourself and your ego, that might be your karmic way today. But remember, either way you choose, there will be consequences for you. And as long as you're willing to take those consequences and work them through, there is nothing to be judgmental about that. So yeah, the humans are, let me say that they are, of course, living in balance, harmony, and peace, as that was from the beginning. And in order for the human to move forward in their expansion, they sure need some stimulation. Otherwise, they will be stuck in that. And if you put it like it would be boring, humans may think that it was a bit boring. So this polarity friction, and tension is stimulating that growth. So yes, there has always been those two polarities. And if you know the story of the Bible, you know also of the dark angels that fell to the earth. And that is also part of God's creation. And that was already from the beginning. So the separation was done already from the start. And that was exactly how it started, that God was actually separating from himself and divided into other pieces, and that's how the evolution started. And so it's all from God, and it's all from tension and to separation and to stimulate growth. So, and remember, even if you are not a so-called believer of any religious way, you can still read the book of the Bible and get the stories and think about what the stories are talking about and why it is put in the way it is. Because within inside of that story, you will find those words of wisdom, and you will find those corns of wisdom, and that will lead you into expansion within inside of you. So it is a complex question because it's encompasses so many things. So we hope that you have gained interest and that you have gained stimulation for your mind so that you can feel and you can think and you can grow and expand from what you have heard, and use that as a stepping stone for yourself to think wider and broader. And that's how you expand, and that's how you grow, by asking questions and confronting things that you are puzzled by, and question that is a beautiful way of coming forward, and to to ask those questions that are within inside of you. That's how you also attract your answers to you, and you will attract the answers in one way or the other. So yeah, just keep on asking and you will see how it will expand for you. That was what we had to talk about today. We wanted to speak about this, and we are happy to be here with you all. And for those of you who are new, you are most welcome. And if there is any thoughts and questions, please ask questions, and we will get back to you in one way or the other. If there are more public questions, we answer in a spirit's transpeak, and if the questions are more of a personal matter, we schedule you for a private sitting. So you should know that anything is welcome. And yeah, we look forward to the next Transpeak, and for you to come back. So until next time, remember to ask those questions within inside of you and express that in order for you to attract the answers, and be aware of when the answer is attracted to you, and remember that you ask the questions. That's a training to do that. So that's one way to start the communication with your spirit teachers and guides and helpers around you. So until next time, we wish you a wonderful time, and we send you blessings and healing for all of you that are in need for healing.